Arnold Monsayak doon at kilala niya si Attorney Monsayak dahil naging professor niya ito sa San Sebastian Law noon. Wala din silang napansin na dalawang unfamiliar na mama na pumasok doon na may dalang large duffel bag. Meron din tayong affidavit mula doon sa nag-book mismo nung private Christmas party, si Miss Vera Tagulaw. And ang testimonya niya is over 40 sila doon pumunta sa Christmas party, kilala niya lahat ng tao, employee din siya dati ng Nomo Basho, so kilala niya lahat ng tao din ng Nomo Basho na nandun, at walang dumating na hindi nila kakilala. Tapos may mga pictures kaming pinakita doon sa complaint affidavit kung para ma-demonstrate sa inyong lahat kung gaano ka-imposible yung sinasabi niya. Ganyan po kasikip nung party nung December 20 to 21, 2022. At may hirapan pong dumaan ng kahit sino, lalo na ang dalawang tao na may dalang napakalaking bag na may 30-35 million di umano. Tapos yung third delivery naman, sabi niya, was to the parking lot of the Ombudsman building in the morning of December 21, 2022. Ang insinuation niya is the delivery was for Attorney Ryan Kilala and Ombudsman Samuel Martires. The problem here is that si Attorney Ryan Kilala was working from home on December 21, 2022 and the entire December 2022, the entire month, because of yung alternative work arrangement nila at that time due to the pandemic. Meron po tayong certification from the Ombudsman to that effect. At saka matalik kasi silang magkaibigan ni Attorney ni Ryan Kilala at saka si Madriaga. So ang testimonya ni Ryan Kilala is improbable, imposible ito dahil number one, syempre wala siyang tinanggap mula kay Madriaga, at number two, alam niya kung saan nakatira si Attorney Ryan Kilala, madalas siyang pumupunta doon. So bakit siya magde-deliver sa isang pampublikong lugar kung pwede niyang puntahan lang si Attorney Ryan Kilala sa bahay or makipagkita sa kanya? At si Ombudsman Martires naman, napag-alaman natin na wala pala siya sa bansa noong December 21, 2022. So those are just the highlights of the second perjury complaint. Hindi pa syempre kasama dyan yung painting, diba? Si Tanya Gaisano Lee, the real artist that painted the painting, and yung nagbigay kay VP Sara ng painting, meron siyang certification na siya ang gumawa nun, siya ang nagbigay, at hindi si Madriaga as he claims. So yun po. We filed it last Monday. The update is we will be filing today a motion to consolidate the first perjury complaint and the second perjury complaint dahil syempre related yung mga allegations in the first and second perjury complaint, at higit sa lahat, we are of the opinion, of course, that the second perjury complaint in his Madriaga's statements in the supplemental affidavit actually prove that he perjured in the first perjury complaint dahil nagbigay siya ng detalye sa supplemental affidavit na madali naming na pasinungalingan. So yun po ang gagawin namin today. Ang status ng first perjury complaint submitted for resolution na, pero dahil nga magpa-file kami ng motion to consolidate, baka ang mangyari is paandarin muna tong second perjury complaint bago mag-decide ang OCP Taguig.
Okay. So first question, sir, we have here Miss Jai of Bombo Radio. Jai? Jai?
Hello, sir. Am I audible po?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Attorney, good morning. This is Jai from Bombo Radio Philippines. Sir, you said Madriaga claimed that former Congressman Goles was an asset who supported then Mayor Rodrigo Duterte in 2016. What specific records or witnesses are you relying on to establish na yung statement neto ay false talaga?
sa amin kasi it's a matter of public record that former Congressman Goles supported the candidacy of Senator Grace Poe. Marami pong nag-attach po kami diyan ng news articles from various organizations showing na si Roylo Goles ang sinuportahan niya ay si Grace Poe, hindi si PRRD. Meron din pong Facebook pictures from the account of Congressman Roylo Goles himself. And we've also spoken to the relatives and the staff of former Congressman Goles, and they all tell us na hindi po nila kilala itong si Ramil Madriaga. And we will be submitting their affidavits if even necessary.
Sir, on the issue of perjury versus mere inconsistency, since the alleged false statements involve matters raised in the impeachment proceedings, gaano ka-importante ito for the defense to establish that these statements are not merely inaccurate but were knowingly and deliberately false?
You're asking for the impeachment defense team?
Sir, yes, sir.
Well, first of all, we don't know for sure if Ramil Madriaga will still be presented as a witness of the prosecution. There are rumblings na the prosecution has realized that, of course, they won't say it publicly. They've realized na masasabugan lang sila ng sarili nilang witness kapag present nila itong si Ramil Madriaga. So there's a question of whether they will present him at all. But we also have to remember na on the witness list for the defense, Ramil Madriaga is the number 1 witness listed there. So kahit hindi siya ipatawag ng prosecution, maaaring ipatawag siya ng defense precisely for this reason. Kasi we've already established dito sa first and sa second perjury complaint na nagsisinungaling talaga tong mamang to.
Balik tayo dun, sir, sa perjury complaints and consolidation na na-mention niyo po kanina. You said defense will seek consolidation of the first and second perjury complaints. Tama po, sir. Ano yung legal advantage neto para maiwasan ang conflicting findings or dahil substantially the same factual allegations ang involved?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be granted, precisely because the testimonies of Madriaga in his first affidavit and itong supplemental affidavit covers essentially the same facts, events, and circumstances. So I don't see any reason why it should be decided separately. In fact, kaya niya nga, sabi niya nga sa testimonya niya sa House of Representatives or sa supplemental affidavit mismo, kaya niya in-execute yung supplemental affidavit para patotohanan yung first affidavit niya. So it only makes sense, it's only practical na i-consolidate itong dalawa at i-resolve ng sabay. Ang advantage para sa amin is, yun nga, naniniwala kasi kami na yung supplemental affidavit at yung mga kasinungalingan doon ang nagpapatunay na isa rin sa nagpapatunay na perjurious din yung first affidavit niya.
Thank you so much, Attorney. Thank you po.
Okay, next question. Ms. Gina Mape, DWWW. Mukhang wala po siya. So next is Ms. Bella Carriazo, the Philippine Star. Si Belle?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me
Good
now? Hello, sir.
Good morning, yes.
Yes, sir. First, ask ko lang bakit natagalan yung filing since April 14 pa nangyari yung yung hearing sa Congress, and hindi ba didepensa ng lawyer ni Madriaga na protected siya since may congressional hearing niya sinabi yung kanya supplemental affidavit?
Bakit natagalan? Well, the honest answer to that is it just wasn't a priority at that time to file right away. We were prepared naman to file soon after the affidavit was executed, but it wasn't one of the priorities of the Vice President at that time. And with respect to yung testimony being protected, well, kaya kami nag-file sa Taguig is because the affidavit was executed in Taguig. So we're not really questioning the fact that he read that affidavit in Congress, but the fact that he executed knowingly false testimony in an affidavit in Taguig, in the city of Taguig, while he was detained in BJMP.